The representative of the Syrian Arab Republic has asked for the floor to make a further statement. I give him the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I apologize for requesting the floor once again. Mr. President, WikiLeaks documents, the scandal of WikiLeaks, has revealed the intentions of the United States government to overthrow the regime in my country since 2006. WikiLeaks documents have been printed in the US, and the book is available on Amazon. Whoever wants to acquire the book, it's available. Secret telegraphs between the embassy and the American ambassador in Damascus. There was a plot to overthrow the regime in my country. That was the first point. Second, the memoirs of Hillary Clinton, where she confessed that the American administration was the one that created Daesh and al-Nusra and al-Qaeda, etc. Tens of books that were written inside the US and in Europe, all that have addressed the using terrorism as manipulation, particularly to undermine governments in our Arab and Middle Eastern region. Third, does anyone forget what has happened in Iraq? Can we forget the scandal of the occupation of Iraq and what it led to? And all the resulting catastrophes in our area and in Iraq? Who has called upon and permitted the coalition forces to enter my country, and what are they doing over on our territory in Syria? Is there any justification for this? How can my country's sovereignty be militarily violated in many areas in a blatant and extreme violation of international law? What are American forces doing in our land, and who called upon them to come? Fifth, why did the United States and the Pentagon establish the operations room in Amman? Was it not to train terrorists and send them across the border to my country? Number 6. Have we forgotten that the former U.S. administration has spent $500 million to train 39 terrorists only? $500 million to train 39 terrorists to liberate Syria from its regime. The end was that these 39 terrorists joined Daesh using with their American weapons. Number 7, who attacked Thirda Mountain, the Syrian army at Thirda Mountain in Deir ez-Zur on the 17th of July, September, a year ago? Was it not American aviation, American Air Force that attacked Deir ez-Zur and the Syrian army there, which was protecting 300,000 Daesh members? What was the result? That the American attack there allowed Daesh to attack Deir ez-Zur for an entire year. And the situation has repeated recently. On the 21st of September, this month, the Syrian Defense Ministry and the Russian Defense Ministry have announced that Deir ez-Zur will be liberated from Daesh within 1 week. and our army was at the limit of the Deir ez-Zor, and we have eliminated 350 members, 850 members of Daesh in Deir ez-Zor. And the terrorists withdrew, and the Syrian army regained control of Deir ez-Zor and areas around Deir ez-Zor. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, what happened next. The international coalition led by the United States seized its operations in al-Raqqa, which is the stronghold of Daesh, and advanced the Free Syrian Army, as it's called, to Deir ez-Zor, which our army was liberating. The coalition seized operations in Raqqa and pushed the Syrian Democratic Forces, as they are called, in Deir ez-Zor, as though the Americans are racing the Syrian army to reach Deir ez-Zor instead of fighting Daesh in Raqqa. There were aerial images captured by our allies and friends, the Russians, that reveal relations of that reveal American troops and ISIL Daesh forces exchanging locations without fighting. What I want to say after this intervention is that American conduct, American, European conduct now, and their attitude towards what's taking place in my country goes against all resolutions that you have adopted since this beginning of the crisis in Syria. All relevant resolutions on Syria and counterterrorism have been violated. The United States government must become aware and know that we are a sovereign state, just like the United States itself. We do not claim a desire to fight the United States, but we want the United States to change its erroneous policies towards my country. What benefit is it for us as a Syrian people that millions of us remain outside the country? My colleague said that the Syrians have fled the practices of the Syrian government, and I now say before you all that the Syrian government wants the host countries to return the refugees to our country. And for millions of Syrians to return with dignity, we must lift the unilateral sanctions so that these millions find opportunities and a dignified life, instead of keeping them in neighboring states. This is the meaning of what we always say, that the Syrian government is being blackmailed through this situation and supporting what is called as a moderate opposition that is genetically modified, as we were saying with Mr. de Mistura. It's blatant blackmail. Political solutions are not as such. Political solutions must be based on our assistance as a government, not to work against us as a government, and to exploit the humanitarian situation to apply pressure. Sorry, I have requested the floor again, Mr. President, and thank you.
Representative of the Syrian Arab Republic for his statement.